Chapter 13.
First flying session. Longbottom receives a remembrall from his grandmother, Violet Owl. He ends up hurting himself during the session by falling off his broomstick, and Hooch takes him to the hospital wing. Seizing the moment, I snatch the remembrall and soar into the air to provoke Potter. Potter gives chase and manages to catch the remembrall right before it hits the ground, just like a snitch. McGonagall appears furious at first, but she's secretly impressed and selects him as Gryffindor's Seeker. I'm absolutely envious. "You've been staring at that empty page for ages," Granger remarked, not at all helpfully. "Longer than you're sorting, practically." Her comment earned a sharp glare from Draco, dragging his focus away from his notebook due to her nagging. "Does that sting a bit? I thought it was fascinating how long it took. They call it a hat stall, actually." "Did she ever stop talking?" "You're being rude," he quietly pointed out, "and you haven't even done half the work for potions." "What's up, Granger?" Granger attempted to put on a brave front, but soon her anxious expression broke through. From her stack of books, she pulled out Quidditch Through the Ages with a defeated sigh. "I can't take it anymore. Those flying lessons tomorrow, I don't know how I'll manage. And nobody will give me a straight answer about grading." Draco himself had no idea how he'd handle the lesson, but he doubted Granger's issue was the same as his reluctance to replay past foolishness and childhood antics, while still avoiding altering events crucial for Gryffindor's budding seeker. "Actually, no marks at all," Draco said absent-mindedly, observing her growing panic. Raggedly frustrating as it was, a child terrified of flying seemed less plausible than having once feared him personally. "And books won't help you with this. It's real experience that counts." Granger leaned in, curiosity getting the better of her. "Have you ever flown on a broom, Draco?" Draco scoffed. "Of course. Among the purebloods of my year. I'm the best, hoping for admiration, but meeting a gaze that was anything but impressed. With Vince and Greg, it was often easier to please." Not that Draco cared about earning Granger's friendship or spending much time with her as he did with Vince and Greg. Eventually, she would join up with Potter and Weasel and forget the Slytherin she used as study assistants early on at Hogwarts. "Well, that's easy for you," she retorted, her voice pitching higher, risking a disturbance in the library. "You grew up with this. You can sit there all calm, knowing you won't fall and smack your head." She lowered her tone upon realizing how loud she was getting. "Really, with what's written on other magic transport, brooms seem pointlessly old-fashioned. Besides, Quidditch's scoring is poorly balanced." "Granger," sighed Draco as he closed her book for her. "You won't get hurt. I promise. If it looks like you're going to fall, I'll fly beneath you and catch you, all right? I'm not just saying it. I'm quite good at flying." Feeling a shiver at the back of his neck, he spun around to see that, despite their quiet conversation, someone was in earshot. To Draco's surprise, Potter stood less than a meter away, pretending to be engrossed in a book. "Hello, Potter," Draco addressed him coolly. "Finding that book interesting, are we?" Potter flushed a deep Gryffindor red. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to listen in. Just excited about tomorrow's flying lessons," he muttered, quickly fleeing the library. Granger observed his swift departure with a thoughtful eye. "In all his fame, he's quite modest, isn't he?" she remarked. Draco chuckled. "Should I be planning mistletoe charms for you this Christmas?" She didn't redden nearly as much as Potter had, smacking him with Quidditch Through the Ages while rolling her eyes. "Please. I mean, he's rather average." "Average," Draco echoed, grinning and picking up the book left behind. "Winogrand's Wondrous Water Plants. If the chosen one wants to pretend to read rather than spy, he should choose better cover material." Despite knowing taunting Potter in front of Granger could disrupt the alliances needed for future events, the way Granger struggled not to laugh, shaking the tables so violently Madame Pants threatened to eject them, made it worth it, even if it felt wrong leading her astray. The next day, Draco regretted not having a strategic plan for broom flight class. Inner Severus would chastise, I would have known exactly what to advise had you informed me sooner. Dismissing this internal voice as his back wasn't fully healed, anxiety bubbled as intensely as Neville Longbottom's visible unease. At first, it seemed trivial whether Potter started Quidditch in year 1 or 2. But flying skills helped him against the Hungarian Horntail in the Triwizard Tournament. An extra year's expertise could spell the difference between success and disaster against dragons. Essential Seeker reflexes also meant faster responses in duels. Whatever happened, Potter needed to catch McGonagall's eye today. Any missed opportunity risked Gryffindor's lineup remaining unchanged. It was extravagantly sunny with a clear blue September sky, a stark contrast for a day potentially pivotal to fate. Contrary to their first meeting, Hooch had no corrections for Draco after years as Slytherin Seeker. The scene unfolded like a memory from a pensive. Draco's broom snapped his palm on command, Potter's even quicker, Longbottom launching skyward unpredictably and humorously high. Draco couldn't reconcile this Longbottom with a future dragon slayer. A different person might have felt guilt as Longbottom tumbled to the ground, his wrist broken, though saved from a prior potions mishap as a grudging nod to heroics, and because ultimately, he turned out rather attractive. Neville's departure, clutching his injury, lacked any humor. Several Slytherins laughed, but without Draco inciting them, their jeering was less biting this time. Draco seized a moment to whisper to Greg, "See Longbottom's Remembrall? Great pity if someone snagged it for a thrill, don't you think?" "What's a Remembrall?" Greg queried dumbly. Their shared glance drew Pansy's attention, who remained as interested in Draco as ever. Draco had convinced himself she was drawn to his clever banter and confident aura, but a nagging truth whispered that even if he faded into the shadows, her gaze wouldn't waver. Disappointment clawed at him, suggesting it might have been his Malfoy lineage that really caught her eye. His regard for her further dimmed as he watched her pick up the Remembrall, inspect it and sneer. "What's this? A mystic orb? What's that chubby little crybaby do with this?" "Hand it over," Weasley demanded, with a swift motion snatching it from Pansy and clutching it close, protectively. Draco's backup plan for influencing another Slytherin had collapsed. All that remained was to step up himself, playing the provocateur. But even that path seemed blocked now. "How long before Madame Hooch gets back, do you reckon?" Granger pondered aloud, her curiosity aimed at questions about Broomwood. A swagger-infused taunt erupted effortlessly from Draco as he turned to Potter. "Hey, sneak thief," inching into Potter's space, "you seemed excited about flying practice. Isn't this your big chance, then? Why not give it a try?" The whole group, Potter included, shot him bewildered looks, as though he'd sprouted another head. It struck Draco that this was a side effect of spending his time mostly conversing at great length with Severus or perhaps, uncomfortably, Granger. This Potter wasn't primed for conflict with Draco Malfoy's aggressive propositions. Those battles were heartened by past encounters. Here, Draco was unrecognized by the boy who lived. Yet it was necessity, rather than a desire for bitter rival attention, that spurred Draco's next move, to later secure Potter as Seeker. "Your father," Draco baited, capturing Potter's interest instantly. "Did you know he was a legendary Gryffindor Seeker at Hogwarts? Think some of his talent carried down to you." "Draco," Granger interjected seriously, "you aren't thinking of flying when Madame Hooch isn't here, are you? She clearly instructed us." Wand out, Draco cast, Accio Snitch, focusing intensely on the broom's storage cabinet. Bemusement washed over his classmates until a flash of gold whizzed into his hold, narrowly missing Brown, who squeaked and ducked. Draco presented Potter with a glistening sphere. "Ready for a challenge, Potter?" Draco Malfoy. Granger moved between them. "Harry Potter, don't dare think either of you." Cocking his head with a signature smirk, Draco addressed Potter past Granger. "You understand the game, don't you, Potter? The Seeker goes for this golden ball, the snitch. Let's release it and see who captures it."
Mano a mano.
Straightforward, isn't it? The question eked out of Potter slowly. "Draco, why the sudden When else can we fly this year? Draco insisted with believable impatience, tossing the snitch idly, while Granger fumed silently nearby. I miss flying. I'd prefer competing against the best. Your pedigree as James Potter's son should make you worthy. Draco prodded at his pride. Afraid, are you, Potter? Satisfaction glimmered anew in Potter's eyes, setting his jaw with determination. As Draco had hoped, he countered with, You wish. Moments later, they launched upwards, and Draco savored the refreshing thrill of the open sky he missed more than he realized, having forgotten the sheer joy since his last broom ride. Possibly his mysterious rescue by Potter? The thought puzzled him briefly. Azkaban certainly hadn't provided such diversions. Come on, Potter, Draco exclaimed, the delight audible even to himself, adding a chuckle shared by the sheer brightness on Potter's face joining him aloft. Despite Granger's ongoing protests from below and warnings about house points, most classmates brimmed with anticipation, with Weasley shouting guidance. The Slytherins' betting flowed, driven by their confidence in Draco's prowess, despite his intent not to outshine Potter. Right then, Draco announced, holding up the snitch in a ray of sunlight for Potter's view. Off you go, no rules, capture it. He released it into the air. Potter, caught in a moment of disbelief, soon flew after the golden glimmer, Draco trailing, wind howling past, Potter displaying the natural grace expected of him. In hindsight, Draco fancied charming the snitch towards McGonagall's window for effect, though lacking any charm that guaranteed its path, maybe accounting for his past losses to Potter. As the chase unfolded, an unexpected joy surged, reminiscent of childhood rivalries and Quidditch days long past, soaring alongside Potter in pursuit of the elusive snitch. Gasps sounded as Draco maneuvered sharply around a turret to maintain the snitch's path, yet derived greater surprise when Potter deftly mirrored his move, but swifter. Draco's senses blazed alive with instinct, whether honed from Slytherin games or simpler matches in Theo's yard. He couldn't determine, but he tracked the target with precision. Potter, ever annoyingly good, without training tailored to this timeline, remained just marginally better, but in that moment, competition faded, leaving only the raw pulse of adrenaline as they swept close to the ground, the snitch veering upwards, brushing the tower of McGonagall. Yes. Draco intentionally let victory slip away, but doubted he'd outmatched Potter even without pulling back. Stopping abruptly kept the outcome ambiguous. And to Potter's Quidditch brilliance, it honestly seemed like Potter courted disaster, his iconic descent narrowly halted from a crash, a bold scar-inducing scene dodged as he alighted on grass, the snitch secured in hand, poised triumphantly. The indignant voice of Professor McGonagall marked her rapid approach. Harry Potter. Never, in all my time. Her traditional fury was formidable at first, though the worry eked less dramatically witnessing Potter in one piece, Draco landing elegantly nearby. McGonagall's bluster became a suspension of disbelief act, slyly masking her intentions on having spied a candidate anew for her house's Quidditch roster, the same fervent opposition Severus railed against in friendly sport rivalry. Reckless boys could have broken your necks. Not his doing, Professor. Silence, Miss Patil. But Malfoy's involvement. That's quite enough, Mr. Weasley. Trust me, Mr. Malfoy, and I have a conversation pending. Leave those brooms, gentlemen, and follow me forthwith. In step with Potter on their castle return, Draco caught sight of him visibly troubled, a stark contrast to Gryffindor courage ideals. The satisfaction of his gambit deepened. Potter might suspect surprises in the aftermath, yet Draco felt sure his maneuver ensured re-cementation as Potter's unfavorably renowned associate, rightfully so. No need to enlighten him otherwise. Furthermore, McGonagall continued with a scathing tone. Your head of house is well informed about your actions and has been called to address your conduct. Draco had little hope that Severus would accept the notion that he had challenged Harry Potter to a Quidditch match in an attempt to save the world.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this chapter, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated with more audiobooks. Happy listening!